I am blessed. Such a simple sentence, yet it has the power to change the entire direction of your day. When you wake up in the morning and whisper these three words to yourself, you're not just repeating a phrase, you're shifting your mindset. You're reminding your heart to see what's already good before your mind starts counting what's missing. Most of us begin our day thinking of what we don't have, what went wrong yesterday, or what we still need to achieve. But gratitude changes everything. It doesn't remove problems, but it gives you the strength to face them with peace. Think about it. How often do we take our simplest blessings for granted? The fact that we can open our eyes, breathe without help, walk, talk, and think clearly. These are gifts. Someone somewhere is praying for what you already have today. When you start your day feeling blessed, you tune your mind to abundance, not scarcity. And that small shift in focus makes all the difference. When you say, I am blessed, you begin to notice the sunlight peeking through your window, the comfort of your bed, the love of your family, the opportunities waiting for you. Even the challenges you face are blessings in disguise. They shape you, strengthen you, and prepare you for greater things. Gratitude doesn't mean denying your struggles, it means learning to see beyond them. It's about realizing that life may not always be perfect, but it's still precious. So every morning, before you rush into the day, pause for a moment. Feel your heartbeat, breathe deeply, and say it slowly. I am blessed. Let these words sink into your soul. Because when you start your day feeling blessed, the world starts feeling beautiful. I am capable. These three words carry the strength to lift you from doubt to determination. Every morning when you remind yourself of this truth, you awaken the potential that often lies hidden beneath layers of fear and comparison. Life will always test you, sometimes through failure, sometimes through rejection, and sometimes through sheer uncertainty. But capability isn't about never falling. It's about knowing that you have what it takes to rise again each time you do. Many people underestimate themselves not because they lack ability, but because they've forgotten how powerful they truly are. When challenges come, the mind starts whispering, you can't do this. And we begin to believe that voice. But remember, even a seed buried in the dark doesn't give up. It pushes through the soil, believing that light exists above. That faith is what makes it grow. In the same way, your capability shines brightest when life feels darkest. When you say, I am capable, you're not claiming perfection, you're affirming potential. You're telling yourself that your past mistakes do not define your future strength. Each struggle you faced has already trained you for the next one. Think back to the moments when you thought you couldn't survive, and yet you did. That is proof of your capability. You don't need to have all the answers before you start. You only need the courage to take the first step. Confidence is not built by never failing, but by continuing despite failure. Every great person you admire once doubted themselves too. The difference is they didn't stop trying. So every morning, look in the mirror and say it with conviction. I am capable. Because when you start believing in your own strength, life begins to believe in you too. I will focus on what I can control. These words are like an anchor in the stormy sea of life. So much of our stress, frustration, and anxiety comes from trying to manage things that were never in our hands to begin with. We worry about people's opinions, about outcomes we cannot predict, about the past we cannot change and the future we cannot see. The truth is, peace begins the moment we accept that not everything is meant to be controlled. And that's perfectly okay. When you say this line to yourself every morning, you are choosing clarity over chaos. You are reminding your mind to conserve its energy for what truly matters. You cannot control how others behave, but you can control how you respond. You cannot stop problems from arising, but you can control your attitude towards them. You cannot dictate every circumstance, but you can control your effort, your discipline, and your mindset. That is where your true power lies. Imagine how much lighter life would feel if we simply stopped fighting the things beyond our reach. Like a sailor who learns to adjust the sails instead of cursing the wind, we too can learn to navigate through uncertainty by focusing on what we can change. The rest will unfold in its own time. When you live with this awareness, peace becomes your natural state. You stop reacting to every small disturbance and start responding with wisdom. You begin to understand that control is not about dominating life, it's about directing your own inner world. So every morning, remind yourself, I will focus on what I can control. Because when your focus shifts from resistance to acceptance, your energy transforms from worry into strength. And that is where true freedom begins. I will be kind to myself and to others. In a world that often celebrates speed, success, and perfection, kindness is a quiet strength that can heal both the giver and the receiver. Every morning, when you remind yourself of this, you choose to live from your heart rather than your ego. Kindness is not about grand gestures, it's about small, genuine acts. A smile, a patient word, a helping hand, or even forgiving yourself when you fall short. We are often so hard on ourselves. We replay our mistakes, judge our imperfections, and compare our journey with others. But true kindness begins within. When you speak to yourself gently, you create space for growth. You stop trying to be flawless and start trying to be real. Self-kindness doesn't make you lazy. It makes you emotionally stronger because a heart that feels accepted can heal and improve. And when you're kind to others, that energy multiplies. Sometimes people act harshly because they're fighting silent battles we know nothing about. A kind word can bring comfort to a tired soul. A little patience can stop someone's day from falling apart. Kindness doesn't always change the situation, but it always changes the atmosphere. It softens hearts, builds bridges, and reminds us that humanity still exists in a hurried world. So, as you move through your day, remember that kindness is not a weakness. It's the highest expression of strength. It takes courage to stay gentle in a rough world. It takes maturity to choose compassion over criticism. When you say, I will be kind to myself and to others, you're not just making a promise, you're setting a powerful intention. Because where kindness lives, peace follows. And in that peace, life begins to feel truly beautiful. This too shall pass. These 4 words carry timeless wisdom, offering strength during pain and humility during success. Every morning when you remind yourself of this truth, you are grounding your mind in the reality that nothing in life is permanent. Neither joy nor sorrow, neither victory nor failure. Everything changes, everything moves, and everything eventually passes. When you're going through a difficult time, it's easy to believe that your pain will last forever. The nights feel long, the burdens heavy, and hope seems distant. But life has its seasons. Just as winter eventually gives way to spring, your struggles too will fade. Every wound you've carried in the past has healed with time, hasn't it? You made it through those days, and you'll make it through this one too. The phrase, this too shall pass, is not just about waiting, it's about trusting. Trusting that time, patience, and faith can turn storms into lessons and tears into wisdom. But this truth is not only for hard times, it's also a reminder in moments of joy and success. When life feels good, remember to stay humble, because that too shall pass. Enjoy every blessing while it lasts, without clinging to it or fearing its end. Impermanence teaches us to be grateful for the present, to live fully, love deeply, and let go gracefully. When you live with the awareness that everything is temporary, you stop resisting change and start flowing with life. You become calmer, wiser, and more accepting. So, every morning, whisper to yourself, this too shall pass. Let it remind you that no storm is eternal, no joy is endless, and no moment is wasted. For every phase, whether painful or pleasant, is simply a chapter in the beautiful story of your growth. I will not give up. These words are a promise you make to your own soul, a commitment to keep moving forward, even when the path gets dark, even when progress feels invisible. Every morning when you say this to yourself, you are choosing courage over comfort and perseverance over excuses. Life will test you in ways you never expect. Plans will fail, people may disappoint you, and situations might break your heart. But the decision to not give up, that's where strength is born. When we face obstacles, it's easy to feel that quitting would bring relief. But the truth is, giving up doesn't end the pain, it only postpones growth. Every setback carries a lesson, Every delay hides a blessing, and every failure teaches you something success never could. When you persist despite difficulties, you build resilience. And resilience is what turns ordinary people into extraordinary ones. Think of a river flowing through the mountains. It doesn't stop when it meets a rock. It flows around it, over it, or through it. But it keeps moving. That's how life is meant to be lived. The obstacles aren't there to block your way. They are there to show you how strong your determination truly is. Remember, even the brightest sunrise begins in the darkness of night. You may not see progress immediately, but every small step you take matters. Success is not about speed, it's about consistency. So when life feels heavy and your strength seems to fade, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and remind yourself, I will not give up. Because the moment you decide to keep going, even when it's hard, that is the moment life begins to change in your favor.